Late Game Reviewer, and welcome to my channel. I found an article on Destructoid. Witcher 3 dev wants free DLC to be an industry standard. I wish that could be... Oh yeah, I really want to. I really do. But there's a problem with that, because it got to me thinking, well, okay, is it possible in the first place? I don't think so. You see big companies like, I don't know, EA, Ubisoft, and Activision, and all the others, of course. CDPR, Evolve, and for example, man... I would say DICE. There's a bunch of others, of course. They all, like, for them, DLC, it's like their milking farm. They do this for the money and profit. I mean, who wouldn't? If I had a developer house, if I was in charge of a publisher, I would use DLC to make profit, of course. Why wouldn't I? It's a great tool. It's a great thing to do that. But, being me... I don't want to exaggerate. I don't want it to be a milking farm, but that's just me. Same thing with The Witcher 3 devs, CDPR. I do have to agree that there must be some free DLC. It's really good. Like, if you look at it this way, you release some free DLCs and then the rest is being paid. That's really great, but it comes to me, well, the question is this. I mean... well, not really a question, but first you have to tell me what's a DLC, or... I mean, I challenge everyone to tell me what is DLC. I say challenge because everyone will have a different opinion or have a different description of what DLC is. That's the problem. Developers and each developer house have their own version of what DLC is. They all have their own version of what expansion pack is and how should it be used. That's the problem. There's no standard in there. So before the DLC that, like, it should become an industry standard, they should ask themselves, what's a DLC? What's an expansion pack? Hell, what's a patch, you know? It may seem ridiculous at first, but I've seen, like, not expansion packs, but... I would say patches release the same kind of content as DLC or even expansion packs. It makes DLC look like an anorexic. It really does. It's really stupid. Like, look at those free-to-play games, for example. Yes, it's a different business model, but still, they release patches with fixes and then they release content, which is... Like, sometimes it's an enormous amount of content, which is, like, how the hell did you pull that off? Sometimes I really do wonder. Same thing with DLC. I mean, what should be a deal? Hell, what should be a game? How many hours should be considered it to be a game? And how should it be made? There's no rules or guidelines or, like, there's no set or something in a game itself in DLC. This is really weird because, to me, just, you know, when you build a house, you should follow some rules because you want it to be standard and you want it to be, well, in today's world, you want it to be legal because if an inspector comes in, well, you're in big trouble. But even before that, when you build a house, and then you go all around, yeah, like your house, you like your land, you build your shed and everything around. If you want to build... and set like guidelines and rules with everything around, don't you think you should have rules for building a house first? Like, this is your foundation. It's the same thing for games. Start with the game first of all. Like, how should be a level, how should be like some game mechanics, like the level design or the AI or the enemies and so on and so on. There should be rules, but there's none. It's like an open bar right now. Not that it's a really big problem, because some developers really know what to do with their games, and others, they suck. But if you look at a game that really sucks, you can see the potential. Like, what if that was fixed? Or what if, well, like, X problem, Y problem, and Z problem was fixed? It could be an awesome game, but it's not, because... some developer, or maybe maybe it's the management because they just didn't manage the team correctly. Well, they made it look like a piece of shit, and it happened. I'm not gonna name any games here because that would be too easy. But I don't know. I really want it to be like free DLC. I really want free DLC to be an industry standard. Well, there should be an industry standard. That's what I mean. But yeah, games themselves should have standard. They should have rules and guidelines. That's where the gaming industry should go first, if you ask me. I mean, like if you look at a game, how many hours should it be considered like a game? Should it be like 6 hours and then it's a complete game? Then you should make DLCs or expansion packs or whatever. I don't know. Well, depending on the genre, you know, if you look at strategy games, you can play the games for 200 hours, and technically speaking, it could be all different. So, and sometimes you look at first-person shooters. Some last 4 hours, some last 10 hours, some last like 20 hours. I don't know. It's it's a good question. Well, to me, yeah, and I've seen some comments in there that says, well, yes, but don't forget it should be paid. And then again, what should be free and what should be paid? Should it be like skins? Well, should that be free? If you add content like missions or more levels or I don't know some other items that should that be paid? There's no standard in that. There's no rules and guidelines. Really, really interesting question. What are your thoughts on this? Because to me, I really want to be free, and I know that DLCs are used for companies, well, by companies to make profit, of course. I'm just wondering. Well, I know it's not going to be possible, but yeah, to me, there should be a. It should be like an industry standard. Not all of them, but some of them. If I look at a realistic side, there should be some free. And honestly, it should be in all games. Like, this would be really good for the game developers and publishers. It should attract customers. Like, you attract customers by seeing some things that are free. Good content, of course, as in new missions and all that. And, well, probably more. Just be creative or just be, like, imaginative, and you should find out. Well, those are my thoughts on the subject. What are yours?